Hi, my name is Grace. I'm 43 years old. I've been living with this HIV virus for 21 years now. This is my 22nd year. I tested positive 1994 when I got married, but unfortunately we were not tested, the two of us, as in I just went to get tested because I was pregnant, and then I didn't go and get the results. I think it was fear of the unknown, like if I get the results, then what? And I also didn't want to confirm my fears. If I'm positive, it was like a death sentence then, because there was a lot of stigma around being HIV positive. So when I got my child, he didn't get tested as well, as in when I gave birth to him. And then he was in and out of hospital because of different ailments. And then unfortunately he died at 4 years, 10 months. And also my husband died later on. This was a result of being HIV positive, and then it really scared me out of my wits. This is when I actually had to wake up and say, oh, so this is real. Anyway, I was really scared of even indulging in sex or getting married again. I was just fearing, death, because I actually witnessed death 2 times, like the death of my son, the death of my husband. And it was not easy because my husband had not even told me about his status, and we had not even discussed about it. It was just a matter of trust. So now, some years later, this is like 10 years later, I did not take any medication, no herbs. I didn't go to any prophets. I didn't go to any of these healers. I just believed somehow, somewhere, the medication will come to see me. And for real, it did come through the government. And then 2004, this is when I actually left Zimbabwe. I was actually a graduate, like a graduate teacher, but then things were really bad in our economy, so I decided to look for another job. I went to Namibia looking for a job to teach, but unfortunately I couldn't get a job, so I ended up being a maid. I think this is when my CD4 count spiraled down, so I was really sick. I had to come back to Zimbabwe 2005, and the first thing that I did was just to open up, tell everybody, the nurses, my mom, everyone in the family, look guys, I'm HIV positive. Of course everyone was shocked because I was a very good girl. I mean, they didn't expect, because HIV was associated with promiscuity, it was associated with being a whore or commercial sex workers, and I had never been one of those or even been labeled to be one of those. I was just someone who's decent. So, but the good thing is I got social psycho support, and it was really good. My family really supported me, and then I started on TB drugs, and it was really good because I responded well. Then later on, I started my ARVs in May 2006. My CD4 was actually 13. It was very low. The normal CD for a normal person with no ailments, no chronic ailments, is from 600 and above. I mean, if you are not sick, if you are not stressed, if you are not having a funeral, you should actually be 600 and above. So then my CD4 was really low, 13. 2007, I got back on my feet. I was healthy. I responded very well. I was on Stalanev then. I looked for a job. I went back to Harare. So I got a job at Spaces College, Sharon, and I taught for 9 years. I did very well. I mean, I was not sick up and about. So 2009, I met a handsome guy who proposed marriage, and I told him, oh, but I'm HIV positive. He said, oh, you have AIDS? I mean, a lot of people don't know the difference between HIV and AIDS. And then I tried to explain to him that I'm on antiretroviral treatment. He couldn't even understand it. He had to go to the nurses to find out what exactly I meant. And then the nurses said, they asked him, were you tested before? And he said, oh, why should I be tested? I was never into prostitution. I mean, well, that was just the stereotype that if you are going to be tested, it's because you've been promiscuous. So now he got tested. He was HIV negative. Upon retest, he was still negative. Then we started doing counseling at Paranyatwa. And then we went for counseling. We started doing some lessons on discordant couples, HIV positive versus HIV negative. What are the advantages, the disadvantages? And then they actually convinced him, and he said, no, I have no problem with marrying her. And he actually volunteered to get circumcised. He went to another hospital where it was free. And then after the circumcision, we got married. 2010, we had a big church wedding, and I was a blissful bride. I was very happy. He used to actually go and collect tablets for me here and there, because I had a regular job and he was self-employed, so he could actually go and get the tablets for me, because it was actually an uphill to go and get the tablets, to collect tablets. So now, 2012, I got pregnant. And by the way, we did not use protection. He actually said, why should I? My CD4 had actually risen to 912. And then I also got the viral load. It was undetectable. And I got pregnant. And then at 3 weeks, I went to register my pregnancy for the antenatal care. And then they said I should start the PMTCT program, because I was very scared because of the death of my son, my first son. So now they actually had to go through some lessons with me, the advantages. I was actually very scared of breastfeeding, but then they actually convinced me with my CD4 that is very high, that you can actually breastfeed and nothing, I would not infect the baby. So I started the combination of drugs, and that was 4 months until I had a cesarean section, a bouncing baby girl, and she was tested at birth. She was negative. Oh, I really thanked God, and I was surprised, and I was so relieved. And then I decided to Adonai, she's actually here. Adonai, let me just take it.
You can leave her to rest. It's okay.
Hi, sweetheart. Say hi. She wants to sleep.
Oh, she's sleeping. It's okay.
Adonai, say hi.
It's okay, let her rest.
It's okay.
It's fine.
So, on the 29th of February, I gave birth to a bouncing baby girl. And we did all these antenatal care for the baby, all the vaccinations, preventions. And my husband was very supportive then. But then only until she was 6 months old, that's when he started. I think it was relatives, friends, and workmates who actually talked to him about HIV positive women. And then he actually said, I have no problem. But then they convinced him to say, no, one time you will actually get infected. That's when he decided to leave me. He actually said, I'm just going to get tested. From nowhere, I said, oh, okay, that's fine. He tested HIV negative again. And then...
How many times did you get tested?
For him, it was 10 times in different towns. He just wanted to make sure. And then I was actually facing a little bit, like I was having doubts. He was getting violent. He was now stigmatizing me. He was shouting me, very abusive. He had changed. I mean, from the loving guy, very understanding, he had changed completely. Then I wondered, and then he just moved out of our matrimonial home. So now I just thought, oh, okay, it's his choice. So he started staying with another woman, and he said, I'm going to stay with someone who's negative. So it really hurt me. I was really touched because I thought we were getting on well and there was no problem, especially with this combination of drugs and my very high CD4. I didn't think I would infect him anyway.
Okay. So do you have anything that you want to say to pregnant mothers or mothers who are living with HIV so that they don't have fear if they want to have children or give birth to as many children as they can? Is there anything you want to say, and especially in line of the introduction of PMTCT in Zimbabwe?
Yes. Okay. The cutoff age for women to give birth is 35 and I was 39. I was almost 40. So I just want to say to women, you might be 30 and above and you are worried that what if I'm HIV positive, or what if I've never been tested? There's life after being tested anyway. So I actually got pregnant like 10 years after I tested positive. Or actually, it's actually much more because this is my 22nd year. So I would also encourage women out there to get help, especially from the public health, to say you can go for lessons. Like Parenyatwa, they always have lessons every week to say if you are pregnant, what type of food should you eat? What type of food should you not eat? That actually really boosted my health, especially calcium, milk, a lot of other things, the do's and don'ts that they tell you, and then also to just follow the rules that they tell you, and to also take the medication on time, and also to take the medication religiously. At first it would be really hard to say every other day to be taking medication, but it's okay. So long life.
Okay. Considering that initially you lost a son to this HIV virus, and now that you're holding a testimony, your own testimony in your hands, what do you have to say about this to encourage other women?
I really want to say the ARVs really help. They might have side effects, like a whole lot of side effects, because the road was not easy. But I really want to say the ARVs do help. And I would also want to say there are churches out there who want to they do have pastors, healers, prophets. I really believe in them, and I respect them in every way. But I just want to say, if you are taking these medications, I think you should just do it for life. You don't have to worry about the body because of the way you look. As long as you are healthy, you are eating the right food, I think it's okay. So I would really encourage the women out there to be really on the lookout for, especially diet, lifestyle, behavior change. You don't sleep around. You are very particular about your sex life, your sexuality. So I think that's about it.
Thank you.